everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you're returning. So today we're going to talk about the rapper Trouble and the stupid situation that he really could have avoided but wound up putting himself in. And we're also going to talk about another incident that happened that's very similar. So I had a friend of mine call me Tuesday and we were talking and she's like, yeah, girl, such and such is baby's father found himself in a situation. And I said, okay, so what happened? So apparently, this is all here in Atlanta. There's a guy, his family threw him a birthday party. So he shows up to the birthday party with a woman, and somehow the woman's ex-boyfriend of like 2 or 3 weeks winds up popping up at the party and telling her, let's go. So the birthday boy decides that he's going to defend her honor, and he jumps up and he's arguing with her man or her ex or whoever he is, right? Her situation. That's what we're going to call him. So the birthday boy is arguing with the situation. So the situation got hype. So the birthday boy and the situation go outside. Next thing you know, long story short, the birthday boy busts off 5 shots. Bop, 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 bop. And his aim was so bad, he barely hit the air. All 5 of them were a miss. But he turns his back after that. I guess he thought that was I don't know what he thought, but apparently that was a way for him to get out of the situation or maybe calm the situation down. I don't know how these black men think. Something's wrong with them. They're working at a deficit for the most part, so I can't understand it. But anyway, after this, he turns around and he goes walk back. So then the situation goes to his car. He's telling the girl, get in the car. He's arguing with the girl. So the situation goes to the car. He gets his situation and he comes back. And long story short, he sent old boy to the upper room. And I was like, well, wait a minute. So what about his kids? Because I know the mother of his children. And I was like, oh, wow, that's so unfortunate. What about the kids? Apparently, because it was his birthday, the kids were at home waiting for him to come. He was supposed to be meeting with the children, going to the house. And, his girl was like, well, what's up? Where are you? She didn't know where he was. He was at a birthday party that his mother and his sister threw for him and brought some random girl. It's so crazy. The day he came into the world was the day he left the world. So you sat up here and sacrificed your soul for a woman that you barely even know, for somebody else's woman. You defended her honor. Meanwhile, your kids are going to be raised without a father now. But see, had you been where you were supposed to be, spending time with your children, you would not have found yourself in this situation. So now we're going to fast forward to Trouble, and we're going to tie this all together. So now we come to the good brother Trouble. First, they were saying that it was gang-related. They thought maybe he was being followed, that it happened in his car because he was in a parking lot. But from what I hear, this man had the nerve to be in a deep slumber in some rinky-dink crackerjack apartment of a woman who had an unstable mass in her life. That's what we're going to call her man. He's a mass. Because, yeah. So they said the unstable mass, his name is Jamichael Jones, popped up on the scene. Now, let's break this down. Trouble made all this money, but he found himself in some trash apartment. This, in my opinion, is the problem with Atlanta. And I say Atlanta specifically because I've lived in many different areas and I've seen many different dynamics. And Atlanta's a different animal. It's just a different world. There are rules in Atlanta that don't apply to the rest of the world, and there are rules to the rest of the world that don't apply to Atlanta. So the problem with Atlanta is you have a lot of gutter-minded black men with access to money and resources through less than traditional means. When I say traditional, I'm talking about they didn't inherit the money, they didn't go to school, get the degrees and get the job, they didn't learn a skill and work from the bottom up and then save up their money through legal direct deposits, no scamming, through legal direct deposits from a reputable company. They didn't get their money that way. So when they get this money, it's like because they have this gutter mindset, they ruin areas like Buckhead. Like when I first moved here, Lenox Mall was a great area. Going to Phipps Plaza, great area. Now you go down there, you see these dudes walking around with their pants hanging down. You see people throwing up signs, repping sets. It's trash. They've turned what was considered astute areas of Atlanta, and this is just low budget astute. This is not like, $4-5 million home astute, but they're sprinkled around in those areas too, but they're strength in numbers. So if it's just 1 millionaire here and 1 millionaire there, they're able to control the neighborhoods are able to control that situation. But when you give them access to like just regular people money, well, like a 100,000, 200,000, stuff like that, there are a lot of broke-minded people that have access to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. That's not a lot of money. That's just money. So when you give them that money, they don't know how to act. And it's that very mindset that would make a wealthy man be so reckless with his movement. Now, I'm someone who rocked with Trouble, but the fact that he got himself done in while chasing tail is just another example of how they just never learn. So, like, there's no way that black men should be taking these types of L's with all of the biographical data from the plethora of black men before them. I don't understand that. Like, WTF are you doing in some man's woman's bed? Why are you dealing with some crackerjack queen who doesn't even live in a gated community with security check-in? Why are you frequenting them? Why are you visiting there? You have no business being there. At this point, I've said it before and I'll say it again, black men have to be operating from a cognitive deficit. They just have to. I don't know why or what's wrong with them, but that ain't the move. Now, back to the people saying that they thought originally it was like gang related. Like, if that were the case, how are you moving so sloppy if that's the life that you've decided to live? A few other things that have me like scratching my head, y'all. How did this Jamaican man know Trouble was in that specific apartment? As she stayed in a crackerjack apartment. It wasn't like she stayed in like, a two family unit or something like that. No, it was an apartment complex. So how did he know that Trouble was, because even if you didn't know anything, okay, Trouble had a flashy car. So if you see that car, maybe you knew that car. Who knows? Because he did follow Bootsy. Apparently Jamaica followed Bootsy, and we know Trouble's affiliated with Bootsy. So by chance, maybe Trouble had the only type of he had the only car of his that looked like that. His car is the only car that looked like that, so they just knew it was Trouble's car, which is highly unlikely. But anyway, how did he know that he was in that apartment? Because in these crackerjack apartments, there is no assigned parking. Also, how did Jamarcus, quote unquote, break into a one-way in, one-way out apartment without kicking in a door or busting a window out and know to go straight to the bedroom? Because they said that he snuck in the house, broke in the house. Okay, while you kicking a door in, yeah, you can kick a door in with one kick, but that boom is waking up whoever is in that house. So how, and then when you hear that boom, you don't just open your eyes and say, oh, wow, it sounded like a door just got kicked in, and it sounded like it could have just been mine, because this is an apartment. It's small. If it's a huge house, you may have heard a sound and wondered. This is an apartment. Somebody kicks that door and you gonna know about something. So for him to get in that house, I'm assuming he did not kick that door in, because he wouldn't find Trouble in the bedroom. Trouble probably would have ran out of the bedroom. So I'm going off of common sense. He didn't kick the door in, and she probably lives on not the first level, so I'm assuming he didn't climb through the window. Based off of his physique, I don't see his fat ass climbing through nobody's window. So my spidey senses tell me dude may have had a key, or either he was watching her apartment, or she told Jamichael that she had company. Not necessarily that it was Trouble, but she told him, I got somebody over here, or somehow he knew there was somebody in that house. I don't know, but this is a wild one. So what do y'all think would cause a man, right, to stand up his kids only to fight over another man's woman and wind up giving up the ghost? Or a familiar artist to be so comfortable as to rest his head in another man's bed and wake up to the flash bang in his face? Either way, y'all comment down below, subscribe to this channel, thumbs this video up, and until next time.